Ugh. Yes, I made it! Oh no, oh no, no! What? He was invisible. In 2006, action thriller specialist and French creepo Locke Benson gave to the world Arthur and the Minimoids, a strange, horrifying children's film made during the fantasy craze of the 2000s. It wasn't a great film, nor even a good one, with more than one scene that had a lot of uncomfortable implications, but I found it to be overall passable. While it did tank in America, it was a colossal hit in France, big enough to spark a franchise, and in 2000s fashion, if you were big enough for a sequel, you got 2 sequels, because trilogies were the thing back in the day, so rather than go with one, I decided to take on 2 movies at the same time. My sanity is gonna get tanked, but I must endure. Hand over the helmet. Now the question is, are the sequels of Arthur and the Minimoids good? I'm going to assume no, but I'm open to possibilities. Let us begin with Arthur and the Revenge of Maltazar. I'll let you know that I actually reviewed this movie before. I remember it like it was yesterday. The sequel wastes no time showing us Minimoids doing hard labor. I think they're Minimoids.
God rest your soul.
What's the point of all this? Well, for one, it's to show off the 3D animation and how the Minimoids gather crops, which is creative, I'll admit, and also to show the audience that Italian Minimoids exist.
For the gala dinner, the royal full moon dinner, I wanted the best, the best, the best, the best, the best, the best, the best! Mamma mia!
Before we see the Minimoids develop class consciousness, we get to see Arthur's parents overreacting to a little bee.
Oh! Is the dog okay?
No, you stepped on his tail.
But wait, where's our title character Arthur? Oh, here he is, in the forest with the African tribesmen from the last film, played once more by Freddie Highmore, who is clearly going through puberty during filming.
That rock saw the birth of mankind. It saw humanity grow from a worm and begin to crawl.
Yes, this is meant to be whimsical. Arthur is literally hugging a tree and eating grass like an animal. Just what PETA wants. Let's hope he doesn't impose Lord of the Flies on the populace. So what is the point of all of this? Well, the 10th boot is finally here, and Arthur is getting ready to reunite with the Minimoids, specifically Selenia, who are preparing a big feast for his arrival.
A bear? You slept with a bear?
What are you doing? Checking for illegal immigrants.
But then Arthur's dad gets stung by a bee, and this drives him into a mental breakdown. He decides to take Mom and Arthur to vacation later that night. I'm not exactly sure the scenes with Arthur's dad are intentionally funny or not. This is less of a fantasy adventure and more of an overwhelmed dad reaching the point of no return. But they are funny without context. Thankfully, or rather worryingly, Arthur receives a message from a simple rice grain that reads, despite his grandfather telling him Minimoids only use leaves and pine cones or whatever, Arthur immediately deduces that the Minimoids are in trouble, but his father gets in the way of heroism. He wants Arthur and his mom out the door that night, all because of... Seriously, the scenes with Arthur's parents are so unhinged. Even the mom's insane.
Arthur, what? He turned into a wolf.
The tribesmen prepare Arthur for his return till the inconvenience arrives.
No.
Don't worry, Arthur. You can always use the blue screen of sleeplessness from your phone. Oh wait, it's the 1960s. Blue screens of death didn't exist back then, huh? Ah!
Is there any other way?
There are divines.
Hurry, pull harder!
Sheesh, this is genuinely uncomfortable to watch. Look at him. This is body horror straight out of a Junji Ito manga. Finally, Arthur changes back into the size of a Beyblade, and we return to the Minimoid world. And what better choice of character to bring us and Arthur back into the Uncanny Valley than Snoop Dogg.
Yo, man.
Uncanniness aside, the animation has slightly improved. The mocap arms are less noticeable, and the characters no longer cut themselves off while talking.
Please help me.
Lordy Lord.
It still looks rough around the edges though, and stereotypical.
There's a new head honcho. His name's Crow. He has an army of unicorns working for him, keeping everything tight.
Whoa. What the hell was that? Arthur discovers the beta male being taken away by the unicorns. Snoop Dogg chimes in to help by being, well, Snoop Dogg.
Let's pretend we're tourists.
Yeah, right. Feel more like a local.
France, man. Arthur and Beta get into a big long chase with the unicorns, who behave just like the mosquitoes from the last film, but do have interesting designs. As a matter of perspective, I do give the movie some credit for being creative with the minor details of the Minimoid culture. Frankly, I wish the movie spent more time with the Minimoids and less time focusing on Arthur's father starring in the Jacob's Ladder remake.
Please don't touch him. It's all my fault.
Thanks to Beta giving a spider a lollipop, no joke. Should have given him VTuber merch. Arthur returns to the kingdom of the Minimoids and meets the Italian stereotype from earlier.
Yes, it looks pretty good, but actually it tastes like a
However, Princess Selenia isn't there. But don't worry, the king's advisor tells Arthur all about Selenia's day and what she was doing. I don't get it. This flashback goes on for 5 minutes and doesn't progress the plot. Don't we have something better to do? Like watching live streamers eat food or something?
Ah, what a pleasure to see you again, young Arthur.
To the surprise of absolutely no one, Maltazar reveals he was responsible for sending Arthur the emergency message in order to trick him to go to the Minimoids. Which is a redundant plan because Arthur was going to go to the Minimoid kingdom anyway, because it was the 10th moon. Plus the passing cloud blocking the sun was going to delay his arrival anyway, so what was the point of all this? One more thing, Madonna and David Bowie are no longer voicing these characters. Instead, we have Selena Gomez voicing Selenia. Hey, I guess me butchering her name in the last video wasn't completely in vain. And Maltazar is voiced by Lou Reed, who is poorly miscast. I mean, no disrespect, but he doesn't have the same gravity of David Bowie. He just sounds like a dull, unintimidating salesman as Maltazar.
Thank you. It wasn't easy, and it took all of my genius to bring my plan to fruition.
So how did Maltazar come up with his superfluous plan to capture the princess? Why, with another flashback, of course. I swear, a large chunk of this movie is just characters having unimportant montages of what they do in their daily lives. Maybe I should make this entire video a flashback.
I want size. I want scope. I want big.
While Beta and Arthur try to figure out how to stop Maltazar, the king and the Minimoids just let him in the telescope. Seriously, why activate the telescope? Why are you helping him win? Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen. The telescope is destroyed, forbidding Arthur from returning home, and Maltazar traumatizes Arthur's dad over marshmallows. I just realized how weird this movie is. How is Arthur gonna make himself big again? Who is gonna stop Maltazar from taking over the world? Tune in next time. But before you go, sit back and listen to a remix of Poker Face, but with Maltazar as an added-in lyric.
Maltazar. Maltazar.
And that is how I reviewed Arthur and the Revenge of Maltazar. What was the point of that? Nothing. Now, on to the third and final film of the Arthur trilogy, Arthur 3, The War of the Two Worlds. By the way, notice how the third one is the only film that's numbered. Arthur and the Revenge of Maltazar isn't called Arthur 2, it's just called Arthur and the Revenge of Maltazar. So how come Arthur and the War of the Two Worlds is the only one that's numbered? Were they concerned people will get confused over which film to watch first? If that assumption's true, then how come the second one isn't numbered? Why am I complaining over numbers? Forget it, roll the film. We begin in similar vein to the last one, with a Minimoid worker, likely overworked and underpaid, writing a bug to warn the kingdom about Maltazar, which they already know about.
Beta, tell me. Yes? It's been a long time since I've beat you up, hasn't it?
2 movies and all that character development, or lack thereof, and Selenia is still a tsundere. So while Arthur and the gang prepare to save the world, Arthur's family are busy helping Dad maintain what little sanity he has left. What I find fascinating about the Minimoid franchise as a whole is how goofy the grown-ups are.
Chief, that's not a palm tree! The devil!
Every adult character is either crazy or incompetent. In fact, the live-action characters are more cartoonish than the animated ones.
Good day, Mr. Springler.
Really? Nobody notices the 8-foot-tall zombie? Like I said earlier, the human world is stranger than the Minimoids. Now, I will admit, the CGI for Maltazar and his interactions with the human world is really good. And I mean, really good.
I want my old face back again.
Arthur and the Straw Hat Pirates explore the pipes to get inside his house, and learns Darkos, Maltazar's right-hand man from the first film, is alive and inside the pipes as well. Does no one ever die in these movies? Meanwhile, Maltazar also returns to Arthur's home, disguised as...
Can I help you?
Yes, indeed.
So this is how I die of alcohol poisoning. Thanks to Arthur and the frickin' Minimoids.
Arthur and the anime rejects come across Darkos, leading to a tedious but overall fun chase scene. Again, why and how does no one die? Maltazar reveals himself, and Arthur's grandfather just willingly hands him a bottle to grow big. Seriously, Maltazar doesn't even threaten the family. He just asks for the bottle, and Grandpa just gives it to him. He willingly allows Maltazar to rule over the town and kill and enslave who knows how many people, just so he can leave him alone. Way to go, Grandpa. Arthur and the Scooby Gang fail to stop Maltazar, who uses the growth bottle to create a human-sized army of mosquitoes. So with no other option, Arthur and the Sex Pistols decide to get help from... Yes, not only are bees just as intelligent and hierarchical as the Minimoids, but they also create a magic tree sap that can turn Minimoids giant. And they just leave this sap lying around the ground for any creature to eat and grow big.
No hard feelings?
Anyone who's watching this who specializes in out-of-context videos, please, oh please make an Arthur 3 without context. I will love you forever if you do. Now back as a male Punky Brewster, Arthur goes to stop Maltazar, who has taken over the town. Even Grandpa goes off to stop Maltazar and makes Darkos big, who then proceeds to flirt with Arthur's mom.
Call me Archie. Bye.
Well, someone's gonna have a climax one way or another. The climax begins. Arthur beats up a bunch of mosquitoes till getting captured, Grandpa comes to the rescue but immediately gets captured, and Darkos betrays Arthur, only to get betrayed by Maltazar and then gets captured. You think I'm blazing through the whole climax? And you're right, because this is literally all that happens. So much happens, yet nothing happens at the same time. It doesn't help that the humorous nature of the story kinda kills any chance at suspense.
I don't get it. Who's the master? The one from before or the one who just fell?
Just keep your mouth shut if you want to get paid.
Selenia and Beta stick Maltazar with a special serum, reducing him back to his tiny size, and the American army comes in to stop Maltazar's army. I guess that means everyone knows about the existence of the Minimoids, right? Nah, don't worry about it. Let's have a 3-minute scene where Darkos hides and has a conversation with George Lucas.
Did you know him?
He is my father.
Incredible. Lucas was so dedicated to changing the original trilogy, he winds up changing the history of his own life. What an artist. The day is saved once again. Arthur, his family, the policemen, and tribesmen have another feast, and Maltazar gets the chocolate cake from Arthur's newly resurrected grandma. And that's the end of the movie. The end of the trilogy as a whole. I have, just a few questions. What happened to Beta and Selenia? What about the unicorns from the second film? They're still a problem, right? After the battle in town, we saw the army taking some mosquitoes away. What happened to them? Come to think of it, what about Maltazar's wife? Or the other 6 kingdoms? This isn't left to the audience's imagination, this is bad world building. They could have made more stories. Why can't they make more than 3? This is such a weak conclusion. Nothing has changed, nothing was earned. And that's how I feel about these 2 sequels. Nothing. What else is there to talk about with these sequels? The Revenge of Maltazar was just an unimportant filler episode, and the War of the Two Worlds had enjoyable moments, but a lot of nonsense to slog through. I have never seen a fantasy series that had so many ideas get squandered, as well as a humorous tone which got in the way of much needed seriousness and character development. Are they bad to watch? Not really. I mean, if you like the first movie, go ahead, but there's nothing valuable to return to, and that ultimately is the best description I can give to the Arthur sequels. Harmless, but without substance. Made you jump. Yes, so 11 years later, they made another Arthur and the Minimoids movie called Arthur Malediction. It's not a sequel, but a horror movie spin-off set in the real world about a group of die-hard fans of the Arthur series going to the original set of the films and getting attacked by a group of crazy people disguised as the characters. No, this is not a YouTube parody video. This is a real bona fide story from Locke Benson, made as a 2010's deconstruction of Arthur and the Minimoids, just like The Last Jedi. It also has the same flaws as The Last Jedi for being cynically meta and corporately hypocritical. It's not a bad idea in of itself. Heck, if I made a story like this, I would write it where the group of fans find out Arthur and the Minimoids were a real-life event that happened in the 1960s, and they have to save an elderly Arthur from a Maltazar-worshipping cult. But we didn't get that. What we got is a boring by-the-book slasher film that doesn't do anything with its subject matter. The only thing enjoyable about it are the unintentionally funny death scenes, provided by horrendous English dubbing.
Bring the food with me into the tent, and if a bear comes around...
There are no bears here!
If there were bears here, conjunction, open a dictionary...
Now, here's the thing. Why make a movie like this? Why make a horror movie with an anti-fandom meta-commentary for Arthur and the Minimoids? Arthur and the fucking Minimoids, one of the most mediocre fantasy films ever made. This franchise doesn't deserve this kind of scrutiny. The worst part is the execution. This self-sabotaging mess is nothing but a painfully cliched horror movie. There was no effort put into this. It's so insulting on multiple intellectual levels that it gives my third eye an itch. But the final nail in the self-made coffin are the controversies behind the scenes, from plagiarism to the exploitation of the youth. All that together makes Arthur Malediction, without a benefit of the doubt, one of the worst horror movies I have ever seen. It just goes to show sometimes that in a parasocial relationship, which I assume didn't exist in the first place, it's not the fan base that's toxic, but the creator himself. Wait, not that one. There we go.
You even f***ed the bird.